What was the rest of your question, Tim?
What were your thoughts about Hue this year?
He did some things great. And, but like I said, we ended up 8-8. We didn't make the playoffs. Injuries were a key part of that. But that's not where we want to be. And I think I have a lot of respect for Hue Jackson. And he brought a lot to this organization. But as Reggie said, it is time to move forward. And that's what we're going to do.
This is Henry Wolford with Comcast Sportsnet Bay Area, right here. Mr. McKenzie, Mark Davis. Question for both of you, two-part question at that. I talked with Hue Jackson and I talked with your guys' agent, and both were under the impression that Hue was coming back at least for 2012. Were you guys up front and honest with Hue, or did he know in advance that it wasn't going to happen? And the second part of the question is, at 8-8, with a quarterback going down and your star running back going down, what would have been acceptable for him to save his job?
Well, if you're asking me, 8-8 was acceptable. We were 7-4, and we lost 4 of our last 5 games. But that had nothing to do with the hiring or firing. It's more so to move in a new direction and let Reggie put his stamp on this organization. And that's really why it's happening.
What about Hue Jackson? Was he aware before today that he was being fired?
Well, for one, I just signed the contract. So informing Coach Jackson prior to today was not going to happen because I had no authority. Now, if he's misleading, may have come by the media or friends or what he thought, but we gave no indication one way or the other at all until this morning.
Reggie, Ann Killian with SportsIllustrated.com. What's your plan for the coaching search? Do you have someone in mind? When would you like to hire someone? And do you have a criteria? There's a long history of offensive-minded head coaches with the Raiders, and I'm just wondering what direction you plan to go in.
What? I'll try to answer one question at a time. The search will begin immediately, and we would start the interview process. I have my short list. The criteria is it doesn't matter offense or defense of minded coaches. We just want a winner, a guy that we feel that can lead this team and move it forward as we embark here on this new era. The coach for this Raider organization, the next coach will be a coach that we all feel that will lead us to our ultimate goal, and that is winning championships. Offense or defensive coordinator types really will play no influence. The number one is he can lead, motivate, and move our players and our team to victories.
What about prior head coaching experience?
As I said, it will not matter if he's been a head coach or not.
Reggie, I'm Gwen Knapp from the San Francisco Chronicle. What is your opinion of Carson Palmer as a quarterback, and what was your opinion of the trade that brought him here with the 2 high picks?
Well, number one, as a personnel guy, I love my picks. So, but number one, I love good players. Okay? Now, bringing in Carson at the time the Raiders brought him in, that was, to me, as a player, that's a good move. Okay? You have to get players that can help you win games. Now, did the position or the situation presented itself favorably for Cincinnati? Absolutely. But you do what you have to do. That's just the way it is in the cost of doing business. You trying to help your team win. You can't not put parameters from a standpoint of knowing that the possibility was not as good on the other hand. So, but as far as Carson Palmer is concerned, I think he's a good quarterback. period.
Josh Schubat with Associated Press over here. Mark, for you, did you interview, right over here, did you interview any other general manager candidates?
No, I didn't.
And Reggie, just from an outsider's perspective, why do you think the Raiders have not had success the last 9 years?
Well, I can't, tell you what's happened within this organization the last 9 years, but following those guys during those times, you saw a lot of change. Consistency probably played a big part, but Mark Davis has told me that he wants long-term success, and we're going to start it right now. To begin, we're going to have to build, and that's where our mindset is, and that's where it is moving forward.
Fred English from KTVU, Fox Local. Reggie, on your short list, there's a lot of talk that possibly Winston Moss is on that short list. Is he, in fact, that? And also, as you look at this team and the personnel, do you have the bullets to change this? Do you have enough picks? Do you have the salary cap room to make some of these changes that obviously need to be made?
Well, number one, with the short list, I would not name names until absolutely need. Now, do we have enough bullets? Absolutely. We got some players in place. Now, do we have enough draft picks? No, we don't. But we can find players in different ways. We're going to work the college free agent market. You got to work the waiver wire. You got to work the lower tier unrestricted free agency. You don't have to go after top dollar players just to improve your team. And trust me, I got 18 years of experience to try to know how to build a team. Draft picks, they will come. But we'll figure out a way to get around that. And as far as the cap, we will manage the cap. If we don't have room right now, we'll figure out a way to get some room. Whenever the player is involved that we need some room, we'll figure it out. That's our job.
Reggie, Paul Gutierrez from ComcastSportsNet.com. There's been a lot of reports over the weekend that several members of the defensive coaching staff were let go, and yet a few of them are here and walking around the facility. How much, say-so will you have in whether those guys come back or not, or is that something that you're going to leave up to your head coach when he gets here?
No, I'm not going to have any say-so. What I'm going to do is empower the head coach to hire his staff, the best possible staff that he can hire. We're not going to tie the guy's hand and tell him he has to hire this guy or this guy. That wouldn't be fair to the new head coach. The head coach will have right to hire any coach that he wants,
And then are you on a specific deadline that you want to have a head coach in, or do you have to wait for the Super Bowl to be done before you can really do your due diligence in that aspect?
No. It's my way. I would like sooner than better. But if I have to wait, I'll wait. I'm going to work my tail off to hire the best coach, the best fit. And that's all that's going to matter right now. But that will start now. And however long it takes, that's how long it would take. But we want to get the right guy.
Scott Osler from the Chronicle. Mark, over here. All right. When your dad passed away, Amy Trask said that there was plans for a succession, for moving ahead and so forth. Did Al leave behind certain plans or suggestions or ideas, like maybe a short list of general managers or possible people?
I haven't found any plans yet. But I did. I used to talk to my dad every night. We'd talk on the phone every night and talk about football and the organization and things of that nature. And so I had a good idea of what he felt, but we never talked about specific people or anything like that. But I know he had high regard for Reggie. Is this candlestick?
That's showing the movie.
Yeah, there you go. Your fault, Scott.
Hi, Mark. Phil Barber, Santa Rosa Press Democrat. Good to see you. This is kind of related to the last question. I'm wondering, as you make major decisions for this franchise, including something like hiring Reggie, how much are you trying to take into consideration what your father would have done in that situation? And how much are you just trying to plot your own course at this point?
No, I think it's based on just bringing the Raiders to greatness, and that's always been his goal, and to win, and that's my goal. And we're doing it in a different way because I don't know what my dad knew. He knew talent. He knew all these things, and it's a big void to fill when he passed on. And that's why Reggie is going to be taking over that whole football side because I believe he's the man that can do it.
Reggie, Jerry McDonald with the Oakland Tribune. How much are you going to follow the model of what you've learned in Green Bay in terms of chain of command, that kind of thing? Between will the relationship you have with your coach be like between Ted Thompson and McCarthy, that sort of thing?
Very much. I've seen how that works. You know, it's the same relationship Ron Wolf had with Coach Mike Holmgren. I think when you have a great relationship from the top, it filters down. And that the Packer organization is done right. And that's why I'm going to make sure done that way. So it will factor a lot.
Reggie, Vic from the Chronicle. So when you did your research on Hue Jackson, how much of a red flag were the penalties, the record for most penalties of all time? Was that a big factor in your?
You know what? I'm not going to focus on any one situation, but you look into everything. You look into the entire season, how it went, and all the way into not making the playoffs, because there was big expectations for that team. So it's no one incident at all.
Also, are you a 3-4 guy or a 4-3 guy defensively?
I like them both. You know, just give me some players. You can if you got the great players, you can do whatever you want. That's what I want.
Hi, I'm Kate Longworth with Comcast Sportsnet California and Bay Area. And a question for both of you. For you, Mark, what are your plans and how involved will you be in the process of picking out the head coach and moving forward and the everyday team actions? And then for Reggie, I guess I would ask you, what is your ideal situation for how much interaction you and Mark have going forward and how much is your decisions?
You asking me first? How much? Reggie's going to be running the show there, but we will consult quite a bit. We'll be talking a lot. That's about all I can say on that. Reggie's going to be making the decisions, and that's where it should be. There's other things that I have to do within the organization, and I'll be able to focus on those now, which I was taken away from for a while.
Well, and ditto what Mark said, you know, it's he empowered me, and we will consult often. I told Mark, don't turn off his cell phone. I'll be calling him. So, no, it will be a great relationship.
Levi Damien, thoughts from the dark side. You, as a player, both as a player and an executive, you have a lot of experience in the 3-4 defense, and well, with the Packers, you had a lot of experience with the West Coast offense. Will either of those play any hand in who you bring in as the head coach?
Well, ultimately, no. But once we get down in specifics and their presentation, and I'll look into that, yes. That's what I'm familiar with. But I'm okay with anything that works and helps win. But that is what I'm accustomed to. So, but it's not going to be my deciding factor. No.
Hey, Mark. Paul Gutierrez, CSN California.com. How you doing?
Long time no hear from.
Yeah, it's been a few hours. Hey, how would you describe yourself as an owner?
How would I describe myself as an owner?
A lot of people say owners are hands-on or hands-off or middling or kind of letting things take their course. How would you describe yourself?
I would say I'm an observer. I like to observe things and see how things are going and then actually act on those types of things that I see. I'm not a type of person that's going to make a decision right away on certain things. Obviously, with Carson, that was a decision that's probably one of the fastest things I've ever been involved with.